So I wanted to continue on that suffering which we discussed last time because something really struck, where you talked about, where you questioned the difference between nature and
Yeah.
its unfolding as well as comparing it with human, and why that unfolding isn't being allowed within.
hmm Yeah.
What
Yeah.
were you contemplating on that?
That particular point actually came to me yesterday, and I was remembering that point when you said you reflected back to me the words that I used, that it's okay. It's okay for enough for nature to create and destroy,
Hmm.
um and the only thing I could really consider is the nature of the human mind, the capacity to reflect, the capacity to be aware. I mean, I'm not it, the mind, the narrative, the capacity to have a narrative about things.
Hmm.
Yeah, we love stories. We have stories
Hmm.
about nature. Um, yeah.
So I'm wondering what makes it that such a capacity turns into a source of our suffering.
Can you say that again?
So I'm wondering what makes that capacity to think, to imagine,
Hmm.
to bring perspective suddenly become a source of suffering.
That is a great question. Yeah.
I'm not really looking for an answer, but that question itself was like, what? It
Yeah.
made me blank.
That's exactly what's happening to me. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been sitting with that question, or did it just come to you right now?
I mean, it's been kind of on and off for me. It's been very blurry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't really sit with it as in stay with it, but yeah, that's what sparked this conversation itself, like me wanting to continue. And so,
Yeah. On this point.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are people who have out there who have their ideas about that. I'm thinking about Ian McGillichrist, who came out with that huge, giant book um, called The Master and His Emissary, or something like that. And anyways, it's his study of the brain and the different hemispheres of the human brain, the
Mm.
left and the right. And the left brain being, yeah, I don't really feel honestly like I know enough about it to really talk about it in any kind of way, but just generally speaking, that the left brain being analytical memory. Here's the other thing, right? Is we
Mm.
have memory. But I'm wondering what I'm sure that Nisargadatta addresses this in I Am That.
I haven't read the whole book though. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, or, if we were to just take guesses at it for fun,
Yeah.
that it's an aspect of evolution of life to to forget and get lost in something, a story, a
Mm.
narrative, and need to drop the narrative to come back to reality, or yeah, a game, a play. Uh,
When you said evolution, the immediate response was, "Oh, so we are suffering our evolution."
we're suffering our evolution.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we're suffering our evolution. Yeah. Actually, that's a good one to sit with.
Mm.
Yeah, I had a teacher many years ago who I remember him frequently saying to folks when they were really in their suffering, um, and being present to their suffering, he would like congratulate them and remind them how well they're doing just to even be there in it. And just this sense that when we're in our suffering, we can't judge how we're doing, in terms of evolution or growth
Yeah.
or understanding. And I think most of us tend to think if I'm suffering, I'm doing something wrong or there is something wrong. But
Mm.
we don't have that giant bird's eye view of a greater kind of play
Mm.
that's happening. And yeah, and I was thinking about this morning again, these three words from Richard that when he spoke them, I was like, I just my whole being kind of lit up to know that this will be a huge teaching for me, which is that suffering is grace.
Mm. Can you expand on what came up for you when you heard that?
Initially,
Yeah, initially and over the time now.
well, initially it was a shock. It was a shock to me to hear that someone could equate suffering with grace. But it shocked me in a way of like it piqued my curiosity, and I could just feel that there was something important
Mm.
in those three words. So first of all, it got my attention, but then behind that immediately, oh, you've got my attention, is there's something here, something deeper for me to continue to not understand necessarily, but continue to inform me in life, really. Or can I allow that perception to be present in places where it would be quite natural or automatic to forget.
But have you reminded yourself of that when you're actually suffering?
Every now and then. But and a lot, see, like a lot of, I would say, because of the work I do, a lot of the suffering that I experience is kind of vicarious suffering of really being present with other people in their suffering in therapy. And, my own version of suffering of there's something I need to do to help them with their suffering. And it's quite humbling now that I say it like that, right? Because um yeah, it's there's a naturalness for us to have empathy or to have the sensations that come up with the emotions involved in suffering. Um, there's like that our basic nature of wanting to recoil or move away from anything that is painful. So I just want to honor that too as natural. Um, but suffering is grace, I think, is just a more evolved perspective. And when you ask me like, how do I remember that? Well, what comes to me is, well, suffering is like forgetting. So it makes it difficult to remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. But it serves me well to remember that, and it feels like that perspective of suffering is grace, is it presents an invitation to be present with suffering, which is what actually is needed.
Mm. You know, like before this questioning,
Mhm.
my perspective was like, yeah, I mean, it's normal. We need to not need, but experience all aspects of life,
Mhm.
pain, all sorts of emotions. I was totally buying into that
Mhm.
until recently. This spark came, and I'm basically like, it's an existential question, right? Like, why or what makes us feel that? For which basically there won't be an answer, but that question itself triggered something.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, why questions are, hmm,
Not to be taken seriously.
yeah. And that's where the Four Noble Truths kind of came in a handy way in our last conversation, I felt,
Mm.
because it's just very practical. There's no why about it.
Yeah.
There is suffering, there's an end of suffering, there's a path to the end of suffering, and I forget the fourth one. But it's like very, the why doesn't really have a place
Mm.
in there. And why is a very so I remember as a child, I would have chronic ear infections that were really painful. And I could always tell when I was getting an ear infection, and my mom would take me to the ear doctor, and they would have to put tubes in my ears, so something to help my ears to be able to drain the fluid that was building up and causing pressure, and it was an incredibly painful procedure. It was really, really scary. And I remember so distinctly sitting in the car knowing that I was going to have this really painful procedure. Like, I could anticipate the pain because of my memory of the pain in the past. And I remember just asking deeply, why me? Why me? And it was a painful question that obviously had no answer, but right in the question is a statement of, I am a victim.
Yep.
And a sense, I think, from that young perspective of, I'm getting punished. Why? What did I do? So you can see how the narrative just kind of builds.
Mm. Yeah, with this, the the other why which I think of is more explorative,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
from a place of curiosity, like why?
Yeah. It's a little more open
Yeah,
with curiosity of,
because they in that why, which is the why which is coming out of feeling like a victim, it
mhm.
wants a resolution and a
Yes.
solution.
Oh, I wanted a resolution and a
Yeah.
solution for sure. I wanted to not feel that pain. Yeah.
Here in this why about the existence, it doesn't really affect the daily life. It's just out of curiosity.
Well, I think it could lead to really deep inquiry though too.
Yeah. It helped me in a way, like it helped me pause.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even the pattern which was termed as healthy, like allow all the emotions, which is universally preached. And it made me pause even that. So I was like, wow, okay.
Allowing the emotions. It made you
Yeah.
pause that, the allowing.
Not really
Is it?
allowing the belief that it's a good thing.
Uh-huh.
Whatever is, let's not just that, like whatever is spiritually accepted,
Mm-hmm.
or in my circle, spiritually accepted.
Yeah.
So it really made me pause all of that for a second. And that was
That's great.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I love that because how I'm hearing that is you also paused all the assumptions
Yeah.
about how things are.
That's what why this puts a question mark on everything.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that so it's kind of a question that invites the layers, like layers to kind of fall
Hmm.
away, layers
Hmm.
of belief to fall away. And then you can just keep sitting with it as
Hmm.
the layers fall away because there's no answer.
Yeah.
The conditioning can't answer that question.
Yeah. Yeah. Only the experience can be experienced out of those. So,
Mm,
example, like generally, there's this habit of questioning what is being generally questioned on the internet.
mhm,
The beliefs like, you shouldn't think positive. All those are like already questioned, at least in my internet. So, but it made me question the other side as well for the first time. That is, why why even feel the other side of it, let's say the so-called negative emotions or suffering or
mm,
pain. Like in a way, all those spiritual conditioning, in an attempt to embrace that, it I kind of made it a part of me.
mm.
So questioning the questioning what isn't generally questioned
Yeah,
or what is termed as healthy
yeah.
was interesting.
That's really, I love that. Yeah, that feels exciting.
And it was scary for the identity, right? Because identity is built around what the spiritual community or whatever I'm looking at is moving towards, or in a general way concluding as the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this I'm talking about, so this is where the mind and the intellect comes into play. So the way for me is actually different from what the society in general is doing. So this is a sub part of society which is different
Mhm.
from the society, and I'm confirming to that
Yeah.
and questioning that small tiny part of society actually leads, at least led me to feel so alone
Mm.
yet so empowered in that.
Wow. Yeah. Empowered in aloneness.
Yeah, and completely like the very tiny part of me which was attaching to this tiny part of
Mm,
society and their ideas
mhm.
was being questioned, and that's what made me pause.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I could feel a little flitter of fear
Yeah,
um,
it
come
was.
up in me. Mm. So so is that translating into your day-to-day experience in any way, or that pausing and that why? Hmm.
So basically what's happening is that I'm using more of my own intelligence
Mm.
instead of listening to someone else's wisdom and thinking it as my intelligence.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the capacity which we talked about, right? Being a human, we suffer our intelligence, but at the same time, it's the potential as well.
Hmm.
So I was questioning the purpose of the one side suffering, or let's say both the sides. Like, why? But why from this place of openness led
Mhm.
back to the same conclusions, but as my own experience rather than hearing it from someone else and resonating with it and thinking that's my own experience as well.
I really get that sense in talking with you that you are very grounded in what you share is coming from your direct experience. I actually experienced that a lot. That's what strikes me about our conversations,
Yeah,
is that you're not coming, it doesn't feel like you're coming from someone else's ideas. It feels like you are coming from your own direct experience.
yeah. I would reflect that back. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. But and I would say that I have absorbed and I continue to absorb a lot of people's perspectives and ideas, and I'm inspired by people too. I'm
very
inspired.
much. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. But this what you're bringing forward today is pretty juicy.
It is.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It really is. It's quite revolutionary, actually.
Coming out of a sleepy mind.
Yeah.
But now I'm not sleepy.
Uh-huh. God. Yeah, right. Yeah, there's an awakeness and aliveness and
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it's completely reframed the why question. In therapy, we're trained that the one question you don't ask somebody is why they do something.
Yep.
It's just
I'm
not a
learning
question.
that as well.
It's not a helpful question.
Yeah.
But you've brought why back to life.
Yeah. I even questioned that because I was also learning stuff, and generally it's how and what questions are open questions,
Yeah. Hmm.
but why is avoided. So I was wondering why not why.
Why not why?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it brought me back to, like you said, the intention and the place from where it's coming. At a point it doesn't even matter. Like,
Mm.
we don't even think about the type of questions we're asking. It just words flow, and you're
Yeah.
surprised you said that. I'm
Yeah.
surprised I said that. Feeling so sleepy.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah, that spontaneity is given space, or that whatever is alive or coming up.
Yeah.
But it also is, I think it's also good to to track the fear of letting go of assumptions or questioning assumptions, especially
Mm.
the real foundational ones that kind of serve to inform us about who we are and our identity. Oh, I am a
Mm.
spiritual person. I am a seeker, I am evolving. Um, yeah, and so I can feel the fear of sitting with that why, because these assumptions are things that we cling to. right? To build
Mm.
who we are and how we show up and how to predict.
Yeah. Something that comes up from that is, I mean, it's great to have those identities because those identities give us kind of a role to play.
Mhm.
Like for right now, I'm in the role of having a conversation, doing a podcast with you.
Mhm.
That role is serving a purpose, as in brings me a certain kind of energy.
Mhm.
Actually, that role is what made me feel grounded in, and that's why you reciprocated that to me.
Mm.
I'm not always roaming around in this grounded
That's
being.
it, that's it.
It's the role, the
Yeah,
identity,
that's
which
helpful.
made me feel grounded. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. I feel like in our conversations, it's like, well, I'm going to point out how something doesn't serve and where we go off track. And you come in with, well, let's just see, is it always that serve? Is it always, you know? Mhm. And I find that surprising sometimes. You know, what comes from you is like, oh yeah, you're giving me the other another way of seeing something.
Yeah. Also, that's because our intention has been to explore and have a chat. So that
Yeah,
really helps rather than
yeah,
doing something with an agenda.
that's it. Or needing to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That it's an exploration. Yeah. Yeah, and the question that comes for me is what is this exploration in service of?
Wow. Like the way I started this, it was like just a thought, an idea, or a feeling. Immediate. I reached out to you. So even while coming on the calls, I didn't really have any agenda, which is
Yeah.
really nice. I'm really happy about that.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. No agenda. So, I mean, and could we say it's in service to a thought and a feeling?
Yeah. There might be some more agendas added to it. So, yeah, the one which are not conscious in my mind right now.
Mm. Yeah, I remember the first time I reached out to you. Do you remember? After listening to you talk about presence or
Yeah, yeah,
present,
yeah.
because I was so struck by how you described being present
Holding
with
space.
holding space. That's what it was. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that,
Actually, this is what I would call as holding space, where we are just exploring together.
yeah.
I would change the definition.
From before.
Yeah. Like before, I had an agenda.
Oh, okay.
That agenda was to hold space and not have an agenda.
Huh? Okay.
Now I don't care if I have an agenda. So it's more
Oh,
freeing.
that's so great.
Earlier, I was stressed about not having an agenda or not having an agenda.
Would you equate agenda with purpose?
Yeah, a purpose with a strong inclined purpose.
Mm-hmm.
As in, if it doesn't happen, then it will make me feel a certain way. That kind.
Right. Right. Disappointed or,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, even disappointed is fine, but it's like I will lose my sense of awareness or feel disconnected from my body.
Mm. Oh, okay.
So let's say I play a game and I lose that game, I will feel disappointed, but like a sport, I will feel
Mm.
disappointed, and that's totally normal. 10 minutes later, I will be hanging out with the team who won and we'll be
Uh,
having fun. So that disappointment is fine. It's like, oh, when I just lose myself, I feel.
hmm.
Disconnected from my own body and my emotions when I'm avoiding something within me.
So, just to make sure I understand, so disappointment feels like disconnection from yourself and your body, and it's something that moves through, and then you kind of reconnect again.
No, I feel connected even when I feel disappointed when I see it as a game or
Ah,
don't take it seriously.
okay,
And
okay,
this actually bridges back to suffering, as in, so even if I lose, it doesn't feel like suffering.
right.
Whereas in certain things, even the thought of losing makes me suffer in the moment. The thought
Mm-hmm.
of suffering in the future, thought of failing in the future, thought of whatever expectation not being fulfilled in the
Mm-hmm.
future makes me suffer now.
Mm.
So even I question why for certain things this doesn't matter, and why it matters so much for certain things. And mostly the common thread was the seriousness attached to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Seriousness. Do you have that gene key in your profile?
What is it? Not a.
Probably not if you don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. But I know it's a shadow of one of the gene keys.
Mm.
Shall I look it up?
Yeah.
Okay. It's one I definitely catch myself with a lot. Um, oh, do you know what is so interesting? I just Googled gene key shadow of suffering instead of seriousness, thinking that I was typing seriousness. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, because all the gene keys have suffering in them. They were all showing up. Okay, so it's seriousness, delight is the gift, and the
Mm.
city is ecstasy.
What's the number?
46. So the delight, like the gift of delight, right? And how you're seeing it as a game and playful.
Yeah. To me, I know like all the gene keys kind of interlink. To me, it reminds me of my purpose, which is three:
Mm,
chaos,
mm.
chaos out of seriousness,
Uh, chaos
and
out of
then,
seriousness.
yeah,
Chaos. So seriousness, serious leads to chaos.
within my mind. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside too. Yeah.
Right. And seriousness as a lack of playfulness. It forgets how to
Mm.
play, be silly, or simply sit, breathe, and enjoy the mystery of existence.
And that's innocence. That is the Siddhi of three.
Oh, I'm just so curious of what the programming partner is for 46. 25. Oh, so 25 is the shadow of constriction, the gift of acceptance, and the city of universal love. Mhm.
At this point, to me, all the gene keys feel like pointing to the same thing.
They are, they
They
are.
are, but at
They
this
really,
point in particular, like feels strongly like, yeah, I could see it.
yeah. In this example, do you mean? Or
Yeah,
in
in
general?
this context of our conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that as much as I've spent a lot of time with the gene keys in my particular profile, I actually love them all kind of equally and feel them all to be equally relevant.
Mhm.
Yeah. It kind of makes me curious about what the point of a profile is.
I was questioning something bigger than that. As in, I was questioning,
The whole
we are
thing.
exploring this, we are exploring all of that, and basically using language itself to contemplate
Mm.
intellectually. And I see the purposelessness in a good way. As in, the
Hmm.
the beauty in that purposelessness.
Mm. The beauty and the purposelessness of contemplating the jinkies
Not just gene keys, contemplating
in general,
anything in
anything.
general.
Oh, wow.
That's why I said I was just questioning something bigger than that.
I mean, that really supports the undoing of seriousness. If it's purposeless, why take it serious? But here, I'm gonna put a plug in for the constellation work here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because what I find and what I've found throughout my I don't know 15 or so years of working with constellations and being a part of constellation therapy is that I can understand, like, my mind really loves this contemplation of just questioning and being in this open space. Let's say contemplation, right? And then I could go in and be a part of a constellation where there's some deep trauma, that, and often trauma or patterns that hasn't been acknowledged or seen. And it feels so much more real and true to be in the experience of that suffering that's being seen, acknowledged, and allowed than contemplation.
Yep.
And it's so humbling in that way because it's kind of served to keep me, I don't know if grounded is the word, but not maybe where I really truly am.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hmm. Because my mind, like I said, my mind has been so intrigued and is so comfortable in, I don't know if I want to say its own undoing, but kind of, right?
Mm.
To play up there.
Mm.
But then, when I snap at my kid because I'm grumpy, or I'm really in the shadow of my seriousness, or my forgetting, or yeah, let's just say really in those victim patterns. I mean, that's really true too. And I can't lie in a constellation because it's just so honest, because it's a body centered,
Yeah.
really connected way of working.
Yeah.
And for a time, it felt like, wow, are these two at odds with one another?
Now, how does it feel?
There's still a part of me that feels to kind of pick, or needs to choose,
Mm. Okay.
what is more true in my direct experience. Um, but then it doesn't make sense to really separate it out either.
I mean, I couldn't right now comprehend them as separate
Hmm.
because, like you said, yeah, when I'm suffering, I'm suffering.
Hmm.
I couldn't intellectualize it. Right now, I'm feeling grounded. I'm sitting. I could question, and I could see the futility of my own thinking in
Hmm.
a way,
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
because there's some level of distance. I could observe the thoughts coming up or the emotions which I'm feeling in my body. There's a level of fluidity to it. Like it's flowing. There's a level of ease. So I could sit down and question and do
Yeah.
all that stuff with my mind,
Oh,
which is difficult when the CPU is overloaded trying
that's
to manage something or damage control mode.
yeah. Yeah.
And that being said, like I um, I noticed that I don't suffer what I used to suffer, let's say 5, 10 years ago.
Mm.
So I also see the truth in these contemplations, as in, yeah, they seep in and the body doesn't react in the same way over time.
Mhm.
And like you said, it shows me where I am
Mhm.
in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, this is what made me question suffering in the first place, because I no longer am suffering certain things which I used to suffer consistently back then. So it's like almost not happening anymore. Those for those certain things,
Hmm.
which actually kind of makes a point that, oh, like it's not like that I have to suffer, but with
Mhm.
questions that have to normalize it.
Right. Yeah. Normalize it and then expect it.
Yeah, and feel good about it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm human, so I'm suffering. Like, yeah.
Oh, Raquel. Deep. That's really deep. So, so it sounds like you've transcended a lot of your own personal suffering. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, some
Mm. Yeah.
personal, collective.
And
Yeah,
collective,
personal.
personal.
I'm not sure. I couldn't distinguish them right now.
Okay. Yeah. But if you were sitting with somebody who was in a very, very deep place of tortured suffering, like really in it. How do you imagine that you would approach that or be with that?
As in, I will be with them.
Hmm.
What's the approach? I don't get it. What's the
Well,
question?
yeah, the question is what is what is it like for you to be present to another person who very much is identified with their suffering and experiencing the pain of their suffering? How would that be for you as someone who has transcended a lot of your own personal suffering? Is the question clearer now?
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. But I'm wondering, like, how. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it could matter in the sense that I might have some wisdom around what I have worked on or transcended, or
Hmm.
which doesn't come to me as often as it used to. But that wisdom doesn't change how I connect with the person in front of me.
Actually, I think my question just got clear.
Yeah.
Um, would you feel disturbed by another person in deep suffering? Would there be disruption or disturbance in your own?
If I am not comfortable with that suffering, then yeah.
Mm.
But if I'm comfortable being with that person in that suffering, I'm sorry if I'm giving very
I,
simplistic answers,
I,
but
no,
that's what's coming
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
up.
It's like, yeah, it's like what?
I also noticed myself trying to find a thoughtful, complex answer, but I was like, this is this is what it is. I just be with that person,
I love
and
the,
yeah.
yeah, I love the simplicity. No, it's really helpful for me because um, the simplicity, because I think, like I said, I am I'm very empathic. I feel other people really deeply. Um, it's a good question if I'm feeling their suffering or my own. Um, but I'm just reflecting on my own kind of at easeness with suffering.
Mm.
And how much my own unat easeness with other people's suffering is keeping me from being really present with them in their suffering.
Yeah,
It's also there's also this sense of people come to me for help with their suffering,
yeah,
right? So there's
yeah.
already kind of
Understand. Mm.
ex- expectation, and most people don't want to just sit and be with their suffering. I think almost all people is just how do I get rid of it?
Mm.
So that's in the mix there too.
Yeah. For me, strangely, it's been from childhood, like from the very early childhood itself, that I like even in funerals, like there was always this part of me which wanted to act like others to feel accepted.
Mm,
I couldn't feel as much as others.
mm,
Like not in a I feel dissociated in a way. I could feel the emotions within. But it wasn't like as much as others, and that made me feel like left out, or maybe like, oh, I won't be accepted because I'm not like
right.
them. But then over time I got to embrace that, and yeah.
What did
So
you what did you get to embrace?
to be myself, to what you shared as the simplistic version of it.
Yeah.
Be with you. I I never really like fully went into the other person's emotions. Like I always have comfortably stayed in my body and how I'm feeling.
Okay, that's wow. Yeah. You stayed in yourself. You've always kind of known how to stay with yourself and not so much blend with the other person's feelings, emotions, experiences.
Yeah, very rarely. Like for example, in cinemas, like
Yeah.
when I like really buy into it, you just enter that world
Yeah.
and then you cry or whatever emotions come out.
Hmm.
Like things like that happen in real life also, but not as frequently as I observe around me.
God, I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
um so yeah, so I'm in, so what you shared, I'm in a little bit on the other extreme of it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
noticed that, like I noticed that this dance happening. I noticed that in people, certain people are, when you said the word empathy, so it's not just to me feeling the other person, it's about feeling yourself as well when you're
Yeah.
feeling the other person.
Right.
So in that balance, I feel I'm more in my body and a bit in others' emotions. Whereas I notice certain people are more in what others are feeling and less in theirs. So I noticed that dance happening.
Does that is that related to um, something in human design about having a defined or an undefined emotional center?
Yeah. I mean, the emotional center, when it's undefined, it's like you amplify your surroundings and other people's emotions within you.
Yeah.
So generally, the question asked is like, when you're feeling an intense emotion, is it really yours?
Right. And is your emotional center defined or undefined?
It's undefined.
Oh, okay, me too. So,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's, for me, it's completely open. So I open. Undefined means there are some gates activated in it. For me, there's nothing activated. It's completely open.
Mm,
So I'm not sure, like I'm not deep into human design, but
mm,
maybe that's why it's easier for me to have that emotional fluidity. Like as in
mhm.
it came from childhood. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
work on it.
I love that those words, emotional fluidity. Because I think too, again, with suffering is where we suffer too, is where our emotions get stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They can't move, they can't flow like that energy and motion,
Mm,
information, communication.
mm, mm. Actually, yeah. I mean, I said like I'm mostly in my body, but most of the moments of my suffering was when I was personal, I was identifying or taking others' emotion personally within me.
Uh-huh. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Taking it personally, being responsible then.
And then mind also gets activated and
Totally.
tries to rationalize,
Yeah.
intellectualize, try to find resolution and all that stuff.
Mhm,
And when
mhm,
that doesn't happen, more frustration and more
yeah,
chaos. So in a way, suffering feels like extreme friction and resistance in the
mhm.
body.
Yeah. Friction, resistance, constriction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like a tightening the breath
Mm,
gets restricted and thoughts become restricted, myopic. like just tunnel vision, not the broader view. Yeah, in one of our recent constellations, I was representing someone's family system, in someone's family system, deep fear. And it was so wild to me how much in that representation its only focus was survival. That's all it could conceive of. And anything else, any other kind of emotion, like sadness, was shut it down, not allowed. Um, Nurturing, comfort, except like all those, you know, the Divine Mother was also invited into the field in the constellation. And as deep fear, it couldn't care less what Divine Mother had to say about anything. And it wasn't until that deep fear was able to move and do what it needed to do, which was run for its life. It was some kind of, seemed like some kind of ancestral um, deep survival trauma. It wasn't until it was able to complete that running for its life and let out this like primal scream that it was able to soften and then come back into the constellation and be present to all that was there. And just in the honor of being able to represent that, it was so humbling because no spiritual jargon had a chance until what needed to happen was actually seen, acknowledged, honored, understood, and moved through. Like that energy had to move, it had to complete and be witnessed as well. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really sure why that came out.
What came up?
That remembering of that
Mm.
representing there.
You said survival, and something which came up for me was, I talked about seriousness.
Yeah.
I'm mostly serious about things which are related to survival.
Yes, exactly. And that's it. I think that's the piece there. Yeah. 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 It
I'm so
is.
playful without expectation, not suffering even if I lose in things which are not related to survival. But I am
Yeah.
when related to survival. And that's where the questioning of what comes under survival and what doesn't, an exploration of all that could be another thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Can you say that again? What you just said, that last bit around
Basically
survival?
exploring survival, like
Yeah.
what constitutes that.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I've been, again, I'm going to use the word humbled. Like my spirituality has been deeply humbled when my nervous system kicks in
Yeah.
and is perceiving threat and
Mm.
and survival. And it really does trump everything. It trumps everything else.
At this moment, there's a want in me which wants
Mhm.
to experience that survival mode, adrenaline rush,
Mhm.
and see what happens.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and actually see what happens, not imagine
Yeah.
or yeah, like yeah. 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 And I would say in that constellation, it was beautiful what occurred because actually, as deep fear, I found a place of belonging. I found my belonging in the system and I softened so much. Again, it was like you were saying, it's simple. It actually really was quite simple in that constellation. And what was frustrating to me is all the attempt to make me feel better in my fear was simply not going to work. Like it needed to run through. The nervous system needed it to move
Mm.
through, and that was the only way, was to allow it.
Mm. Oh, I'm linking that with my desire to experience it. So my desire to experience that fear or that survival mode rush, and then you talking about the release of all of that which comes through that experience. So in a way I want the release.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
indirectly the desire within me, the innocent desire within me is to experience and release. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it doesn't work out when the agenda is to release.
Right. No, exactly. Because that's what everyone, it seemed to me, everyone in the constellation wanted the release without the actual terror of running for your life.
Mm.
Yeah. And there are people right now currently running for their lives all over the world. And there are a lot of people that need to run but can't.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Ooh, a sobering way to end conversation.
Wow, this one, the time flew on this one for me.
Yeah, indeed. Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of thinking, what am I taking away? Well, we'll see what I take away because I find after these conversations, things
Yeah.
bubble and percolate, right? In
Yeah.
the
Same.
way.
Yep.
But the piece around seriousness, it's almost like through the conversation, there was like, oh yeah, seriousness is creates all the havoc, the chaos, da 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 da, right? The suffering. And now where
Mm.
we are right now, I'm like, oh, and seriousness really truly serves a purpose.
Mm.
Um, and again, with the ancestral trauma, right? It was our ancestors taking survival serious is why we're here today.
Mm.
We wouldn't be here without their seriousness.
Uh, this again reminds me of how I shared about, I was questioning the questioning itself, like exploring all of that, that joyful purposelessness.
Yeah.
So I could kind of conclude at one point that, oh, this leads to this. But then in another context, it's completely reverse or it's irrelevant. Then in another context, it's super relevant. So that's it's very comforting and nice
Hmm.
and exciting.
Yeah, because it's the examining from different is through different eyes, or what is comforting for you?
It's what's comforting is that there is nothing to obtain or get out of it.
Or conclude
The vastness of it,
the
the
vastness of it. Yeah.
yeah, like
Right.
the endlessness of it.
Oh, yeah. It's so true. It's so
or the
true.
conclusionlessness of it, if that's
Mhm.
how it.
The conclusionlessness of it. Yeah, and that lends me back into this kind of aha moment where I recognize that whatever is being experienced has already been accepted and allowed
Hmm.
by awareness. So no matter what is arising,
Yeah.
it's arising because it's already been accepted.
Yeah. Love that.
And to rest in that vast openness
Mm.
where there's nothing to question or make any
Mm.
conclusion about, but just that it's already been allowed. It's, like Richard's allow, accept, embrace. Everything has already been allowed, accepted, and embraced. Otherwise, it wouldn't be arising in awareness.
Mm. That's interesting. I will ponder on that.
Well, I mean, when I ponder it, it's like, oh, there's no end to this.
That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, as in, it's never not been, it's never not going to be, and as long as there is awareness,
Mm.
and it's the most stable thing there is.
What's exciting and makes me feel alive is that the purposelessness or the vastness or the endlessness is fine,
Hmm.
but I could play a role, have an end.
Yeah.
I could have something small, even in this vastness, and because yeah, that's also exciting, but this is also exciting.
Right.
At a point, I was feeling purposelessness, as in lethargic and dead, because I
Yeah.
was only looking at that and wasn't really was losing out on what's here, the small,
Right.
or
Yeah.
the present.
Yeah.
Now holding them together or seeing the no, there's no difference between the vastness as well as this small. I'm saying
Hmm.
small, but I couldn't find a word for it.
It's a good word.
It's the
Yeah.
feeling of, yeah, that's okay, but I only want to go this far right now and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, allowing myself to do that is what feels amazing, and cherish and see the beauty of the vastness as well instead of feeling lethargic about it.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And do you sense that it might be the 60th gene key working in you there with your life's work?
The innocence.
Is that the innocence of the 60th
it's the
gene key?
it's the programming partner. Oh,
Is
so
it?
60, it's realism and then justice.
That's just, yeah. And
Yeah.
limitation.
Yeah. But since they're programming partners, I always it feels connected because
Yeah.
justice feels innocent without an agenda.
Oh, yeah. Already proven innocent because it's been allowed, accepted, and embraced.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another way we could see justice is
Mm.
too. Yeah. But it is your life's work, right?
Yeah, that's my life.
And what's your line there?
Four. I'm a 4-6.
And four is what in life's work?
Server.
Server.
Service.
Service. Yeah. Yeah, there's something really comforting for me in using the word small in this way, like my small part, this small role but can I fully inhabit my smallness?
Yeah. Yeah. That question is what brings the lioness within me.
Mhm.
In this vastness, the mind or the intellect kind of drops off and it feels lost.
Yeah.
That no. So then like it gets stuck there when I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to find a resolution. That's
Mm-hmm.
why this lethargic, it's purposeless, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then when this question which you brought up, and I'm with total involvement, I could just fill up the small space.
Yeah.
Then there is life to it.
Yeah.
There's life flowing through me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it always reminds me of, I was listening to a Beyonce, you know,
Hmm.
Beyonce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So like larger than life, right? Just does not get bigger than her, I would say, in a lot of ways. But in this interview, she was talking about how much she loved to swim in the ocean because she got to experience feeling small.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I could go more into that about, but maybe that will come forward in another
Yep.
conversation.
We'll
Yeah.
explore what we'll explore next.
Yeah, we will. We will. We will. Yeah. Thank